Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kara and I love horror movies. So I am going to give you my top 10 favorite horror movies of 2024. I watched a lot. I watched probably 90% of the movies I watched were horror movies, so I watched a lot. So I am going to tell you my top 10 favorite horror movies of 2024. Now, just bear in mind that these are just my opinions. I'm not stating facts. So you might have a different opinion, and that's okay. But this is just my opinion on what I thought was the best of this year. So at number 10, You'll Never Find Me. This is a gem. It's a Shudder original. I absolutely loved it. So it's basically about this guy named Patrick. He lives alone in his trailer, and it's a dark and stormy night, and he gets a knock at his door, and this woman that he's never seen before is asking to use his phone, and he's like, I don't have one, but you can wait in the trailer inside and you can wait till the storm clears. And then both of them are just talking and asking each other questions. Then they both get suspicious of each other. It's really good, and that's all you need to know. It's really, really good, and highly recommend. I absolutely loved it. It's also a good movie if you're looking for something that's like set on a rainy day. It's very wet and rainy, so this is a good rainy day horror movie. At number 9, Abigail. I love this movie. So the movie is about a group of criminals who capture this little girl. She's a ballerina. They capture her because of ransom money, and yeah, they capture the wrong ballerina. Things go south throughout the whole night because they're locked in this house with the ballerina. It was so good. It was a good surprise. When I heard about the premise of the movie, I was like, oh, I don't know. But it was really, really good and very bloody. It's very gory, but I absolutely loved it. At number 8, I saw the TV Glow. I this is an A24 movie, and this is my favorite A24 horror movie. And yes, I think this is a horror movie. So basically, it's about this guy named Owen he's a teenager who lives in the suburbs, and his friend Maddie introduces him to this TV show that no one really remembers. And yeah, it's such a good coming of age story. It's creepy. It's kind of an ode to like if you grew up watching shows like Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark. It's so reminiscent of that and very nostalgic for someone like me who grew up watching those shows. So I absolutely loved it. I loved the cinematography. It was stunning. So yeah, again, this is my new favorite A24 horror movie. I loved it. At number 7, Odity. This is an indie gem that was so scary. So the movie is basically about this girl who tries to find out who murdered her sister, and she uses like haunted items to do this. It was really, really good. I feel like it was everywhere on TikTok. Like people were just talking about it, and they were talking about it for good reasons because it's just such a good like ghost story. It was hauntingly beautiful. It's just a well made horror movie. At number 6, Smile 2. I am obsessed with the Smile franchise. I loved it. So this one, the second one, we follow Sky Riley, who is a pop star and unfortunately inherits the Smile curse. So when I first heard about this movie, like the premise of this movie, I was like not that excited because I just didn't think that a movie about a pop star was going to be like that scary, but it is really, really scary. I loved it. I I did enjoy the first one a bit more, but this one was still good. This one was still scary. I love Sky. I love the music. I loved her apartment. I thought it was so scary, and it does connect to the first one. So, but you don't really need to watch the first one in order to understand this one. But yeah, it was just so good, and I cannot wait to see what they do more with this franchise. I'm sure there'll be another one, and I just love it because you can do so much with it. And at number 5, A Late Night with the Devil. Okay, so I feel like this one was very hit or miss with some people. Like some people really loved it, some people didn't like it. I liked it. The movie stars David Dashmalian, who is a television host, and he has a Halloween special, and he has this girl who's possessed on his Halloween special, and things just go sideways. It's a lot deeper than that, though. Like, there's just a lot to analyze with this movie. It is a movie with a lot of depth, and I really, really enjoyed it. I love the cinematography. I loved David Dashmalian. Like, I just loved watching him. You can tell that this was like his passion project. He really like suited the role and was just perfect for it. But yeah, it, I don't know. Some people liked it, some people didn't. So I'll let you decide if you like it. You can watch it, but I really liked it. So that's why it's at number 5. Okay, so the next four, it was really hard to decide because I loved all four of these movies so much, but I narrowed it down. So at number 4 is The First Omen. We follow a woman who goes to Rome to do her vows, but she starts to do some digging about the church and things going on, and things are dark at this church. Now, this is a prequel to The Omen, and I don't know why. I just wasn't that excited about a prequel of The Omen because I just didn't think we needed it. But this movie was incredible. The cinematography is stunning. The story was incredible. I just and it okay, so it wasn't super scary, but I watched it a second time and I found it scarier the second time. I don't know why. So I don't know. I think it was pretty scary, but I just think the story and the cinematography just make it such a great movie. And it was a good surprise, and I am obsessed with it. I'm probably gonna buy it because I just want to watch it over and over again because I love it. Okay, and number 3. Again, I feel like this one was hit or miss with some people, and that's Long Legs. I feel like people either loved it or hated it. I loved it. I loved the vibe. I loved the story. It was so demonic. It was so good. So basically, we follow an FBI agent, Lee Harker, who tries to uncover a series of grisly murders that are happening in this town, and the murders are connected to someone named Longlegs. And then Lee finds out that she might have a connection to Longlegs. That's all you need to know, though. It is incredible. So Nicolas Cage plays Longlegs, and I believe he's a producer in the movie. I think this is also one of his passion projects. Like, he absolutely killed it. He immersed himself in this role, and I think everyone did. Like, even Micah Monroe, who played Lee Harker, this was also a role that she really wanted, and you can just tell how much they loved and cared about this project and the movie, and they both really immersed themselves. But everyone did. Like, the acting was 10 out of 10 from everyone. But I think the reason why people might not like it is because it's a bit slower than, like, something like Smile. This is more slow, atmospheric, and that's my vibe. Like, I really like that. I don't know. I think that's why people didn't really like it as much, but there was a lot of people who did, and I'm one of them. So yeah, that's why it's number 3. Okay, number 2. This movie was really hard to do number 2 because it was my number 1 for so long. I didn't think anything was going to beat this movie, and a movie came along and beat it. But this movie is incredible. Probably one of the best movies I've seen in the last like 5-10 years, and that's The Substance, starring Demi Moore. The movie follows Elizabeth Sparkle, who is reaching her 50s and unfortunately gets fired because she's old from her aerobics hosting job, and she takes a substance to make herself a younger, better version of herself. Movie, though, it's a masterpiece, from the cinematography to the acting to the story. Like, everything is perfection. To me, I think it's a 10 out of 10. Like, there's nothing I would change about this movie. And the ending is wild. Like, it was insane. I absolutely loved it, and I didn't think anything would beat this movie, but something did. And yeah, but this movie is just, I absolutely loved it. I love the message behind it too. So if you have not seen it, please do. And at number 1, the movie that beat everything. I think this is going to be everyone's number 1 horror movie or movie of this year or the last like 10 years, and that's Nosferatu. I am obsessed with this movie, directed by Robert Edgers. So if you don't know the movie Nosferatu, it's about a vampire who's just infatuated with this woman, and he does whatever he can to get to her. The movie is beautiful, it's slow, it's atmospheric, it's romantic, it's just perfection. And like I said, I just don't think I've seen anything this good in the last like 10 years. Like it is incredible. I know the reviews have been out. The movie hits theaters Christmas Day. I did get an advanced screening, so I was really lucky, and I watched it on IMAX. I highly recommend watching this movie in the theaters because you want to immerse yourself. I already did a review of this movie, so watch that if you haven't. So I go into more depth, but incredible, and it absolutely deserves the number one spot. So let me know what you think. Did you agree with this list? What are some movies that I missed? I watched a lot, so maybe I did miss it or just it didn't get into my list. But let me know what do you think was the best horror movie that you've seen this year? Do you agree with my list or not? Please be nice in the comments if you didn't. But yeah, I will. I've also posted a top 10 thrillers of 2024. I did watch a lot of thrillers, so please watch that. And yeah, please, if you like this video, please like it, and I will see you in the next one.